Hey guys, got a really serious topic that I want to just address, just to bring up in case, somebody out there that's a member of I Am Alpha M is going through this. Just know that there is help available. And what I'm talking about is basically, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know what, you're not going to guess, I should just stop being dramatic. The #1 fastest growing population of people that are developing anorexia, which is an eating disorder, is young men between the ages of 14 and 30. As much as I think it's now 20% of all people diagnosed with anorexia and people that aren't diagnosed are actually men, which is kind of surprising. It's kind of surprising, it's kind of alarming, but it's not really surprising if you catch my drift. Over the course of the past 15 years, the image of men and what we see, it used to be just, primarily related to women. It was a disease for women, young women. They see all these pretty models, they see all these skinny people, and they want to look like them. And so, it starts. Now, there's a lot that goes into actually developing an eating disorder. It's not just somebody sees somebody skinny and is like, hey, I wish I was skinny, and then you develop anorexia. Anorexia is a serious condition that, if not caught and controlled, will actually kill you over time. Well, it used to be a disease that was primarily just women, but now we're seeing such a huge rise in the amount of cases that are being seen for young men. And a lot of times it's misdiagnosed or overlooked because people just don't, even doctors don't think, or associate or correlate anorexia or bulimia or an eating disorder with young men. But I'm telling you, it is out there. And I just recently read an article on anorexia and young men having anorexia, and it's really disturbing. And one of the things that is disturbing about it is that there aren't as many treatment options as there are for women. Now granted, for a long time it was primarily just women that were doing it, so of course they're going to have, same-sex treatment centers. And the reasoning for not allowing men in there now is a lot of times these women are dealing with it, and a lot of times they experience some type of trauma associated with men, and so they don't want the men around, and it would basically help, or not help, definitely not help, but help, it would, what the hell am I trying to say? It would prevent them from healing faster, and it would, with a constant reminder of, you get what I'm saying. But anyway, there's something that I've been aware of in the bodybuilding community. It's called body dysmorphia disorder. It's where you look in the mirror and you see something that's not actually reality. You look at yourself and you see somebody who's fat, or you look at yourself and you see somebody who's super skinny and you're actually big and muscular. It's body dysmorphia disorder, and it's happened, and it's so common. Guys, it's such a delicate and tough subject, and to admit that you actually have a problem, to admit that you actually need help, it's something that takes a lot of strength and a lot of balls to actually admit to. But if you feel that you may be bordering on some type of eating disorder, and just so you know, anorexia is calorie restrictions, or restricting. Bulimia is actually binging and purging, where you eat a bunch and then you throw up. But some people have a combination of both. But it is an incredibly hard mental issue, psychological disorder that is out there. And I actually have some experience with it, not myself personally, but there was actually somebody that I knew. This is back when I actually owned my fitness center, and he was a young guy, and he started really watching what he was eating. And he was a pretty big guy. He's about 190 pounds, and he started watching what he was eating. He was a baseball player in college. And he did this for about 3 years. Well, the parents didn't know this was happening, but he started to really restrict his calories. He was only eating about 1,000 calories a day. And for a guy who's active, a baseball player on scholarship, 1,000 calories is like nothing. Well, over time, he ended up dwindling. He still had good muscle because he was working out, but he had shrank down to about 165, 170 pounds. They knew there was a problem when he fouled a ball and it fractured his skin, or his shin. The reason it fractured his shin is because when you deprive your body of nutrients, your bones get very fragile and brittle. This is what happened to him. The other thing that happened is he actually was feeling really sluggish, really slow. his testicles stopped producing hormones, another byproduct or side effect of anorexia or restricting your calories. Now, anorexia doesn't mean that you don't eat at all. It means that you're very conscious, you're afraid of fat, you're afraid of getting fat, all sorts of issues. But this kid actually ended up coming home from school. He was not producing testosterone. He had to go on hormone therapy, but really what it came down to, he wasn't eating enough calories. He wasn't eating enough fat. Your body needs fat, gentlemen. And so I worked with him over the course of about 2 years, really watching what he was eating and working on his eating plan and convincing him that, you know what, it's okay to cheat, you can eat this, you can eat that. He ended up getting somewhat better, but then he stopped working with me, I lost touch with him, and from what I understand, he's actually back to what he was doing before. It's very sad, but this video was incredibly rambling and all over the place. I realize that. I really didn't have my thoughts together when I started to shoot this or prepare this. I was feeling so compelled to talk about it because I know we talk a lot about being in shape and taking care of yourself. And when I read the article, I freaked out because I was like, man, what if somebody is actually developing not just a healthy lifestyle, but is actually developing a problem? And so, gentlemen, if that's you, if you're the one that's really struggling with consuming calories or binging and purging, know that there is help out there. Do some Google searches. There's actually a link below that I found, a few links below. But, you know, like I said, don't be afraid to talk to somebody about it. If it's me, you want to come to me, come to me. I'll talk to you about it. I can't help you, but we'll figure out a good treatment option for you. And, you know, part of my responsibility for, you know, allowing me into your life every day, every week is, you know, I'm here for you if you absolutely need it. And we'll figure it out, buddy. But just be careful.